The Biden administration facing yet another travel nightmare. This time, the FAA forced to ground all U.S. flights this morning for the first time since 9/11. So far, it's caused more than 9,000 delays. The problem was an issue with a system that alerts pilots to potential hazards. Nothing special. Who needs that? Joe Biden says his team is looking into it.
I just spoke with Buttigieg. They don't know what the cause is, but I was on the phone in about 10 minutes. I told them to report directly to me when they find out. We don't know what the cause of it is. They expect it in a couple hours they'll have a good sense of the cause, and we'll respond at that time.
Well, that boosts my confidence. And despite boy wonder Pete Buttigieg investigating the issue for hours, he still doesn't know what happened.
We have to understand how this could have happened in the first place and what the original source of the errors or the corrupted files would have been. As we need to look at right now, and one of the things I'm asking from FAA is, what's the state of the art in this form of message traffic? When there's a problem with a government system, we're going to own it, we're going to find it, and we're going to fix it. My top priority right now is to understand the root cause, understand how it could have led to this level of disruption.
Judge, he's going for the root cause. But I have to defend him. He did tweet on this.
He did?
Yeah, so I think that for him is really good. Like, you know, when it's so adorable when he tweets.
He's adorable.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. I checked, and the Kabul airport in Afghanistan didn't have any interruptions today. Beijing airport in China didn't. And the Pyongyang in North Korea is still operating. Okay, so they had no problem. We, of course, did. And what I found out is that Pete Buttigieg oversaw the rebranding of the faulty NOTAM system to make it more inclusive, and it was undergoing a two-phase mission. So the question is, if the FAA got $5 billion in the infrastructure bill, why is this thing not repaired? Why are we seeing more delays, more cancellations than I can remember, and the first time every plane is down and cannot move since 9/11, 21 years ago? Yeah. Okay, it doesn't say much for Pete Buttigieg, but at the end of all this, you know, he was in charge with the supply chain crisis, you know, and I think he was on paternity leave for a lot of that while those ships were off the coast in California, and then he was vacationing in Portugal while they were trying to do the negotiate with the rail workers. And he goes back and forth to New York City from Washington, doesn't use a shuttle like every one of us, Dana. And, you know, he's just a guy who's arrogant, who doesn't know what he's doing. He's a small town mayor. What did you expect?
You know, Dana, the judge brings up the infrastructure bill. You know, they took $1 trillion. Where did it go? I mean, are we being too early to condemn this?
I think maybe a little bit.
But I don't care.
Okay, well, you know what?
I don't think we're early enough.
Execution?
Yes.
Worse than Watergate?
Worse than Watergate, 9/11.
What's in the files?
And Jesse's show.
Any files in there?
Not that bad.
I do think that it's interesting that you have this one cabinet secretary and all of these breakdowns seem to happen all around him. And he's always like, we're looking into it and we're going to blame somebody else. Not that he's exactly to blame, but the inclusive part is that one of the things they did in December of 2021 is they changed it from notice to airmen to notice to air missions.
Thank God.
Because airmen is so offensive.
Yes, we solved that big problem.
The other reason I think this isn't a terrible thing for Americans to go through right now is to ask ourselves a question. If Canada has privatized the air traffic control and it works very well and it's more efficient, why wouldn't we consider doing the same thing here? Why should the government be in charge of it?
Excellent question, Jessica. If we were to impeach Mayor Pete, would anybody notice? Like, would we lose? I mean, maybe we don't even need him. Maybe it's not his fault. Maybe he just doesn't have anything to do. That can be an issue in government.
We'll have to check the ratings to see what would happen if Mayor Pete was impeached and couldn't talk about him anymore. Obviously, coming off a terrible holiday season of travel, this was not what he needed to happen. And when I saw the post about it this morning, I thought immediately cyber attack, right? How could it be anything else to ground the U.S. airspace closed, right? That has to be cyber attack. Then we hear it's not a cyber attack. And then I think, well, doesn't this make us an obvious target for a cyber attack of this system? Because if it can fail on its own, then why wouldn't a Russia or a China or Iran wake up and say, hey, guys, this is what we should be going after? That was my big concern. Then started to see a lot of pilots were speaking up. They were going on social media. They were showing up and doing TV hits. And they were talking about how they knew about this yesterday. So why didn't we know about it yesterday? So that people didn't go to the airport, right? You don't have as many problems if everyone doesn't show up for their flights.
Mayor Pete hid it from us. I'm so glad you said that.
I'm not here.
Jessica, finally, I agree with you. Mayor Pete is hiding deep, dangerous secrets from America.
Not what I said. Just painting a picture of what was going through my little liberal mind this morning about it. And I think that they need to answer for it. If there's $5 billion for the FAA, this obviously, some of this money has to go towards fixing the system, which seems quite outdated. And when he was on, quote, paternity leave, he had a child on a ventilator. I would stop saying that he was shrugging his professional duties. If you have a child on a ventilator, you should be with your child.
You know, Jessica makes an excellent point. What was Mayor Pete doing yesterday? He could have stopped this. And I mean, when you hear that from a Democrat saying that, then you know there's real trouble here.
See, I'm just really proud of the American people that every single flight in the country was canceled and there was not a single homicide.
Yeah, it's true.
I was expecting a mass casualty event. You see when one person's flight get canceled, it's bonkers, but I'm, good for you guys. No blunt trauma to
What do you do on layovers when this happens, Jesse?
You drink.
Go to the bar.
No, you drink. You drink. And the fact that people drank and still didn't assault everybody, I think we've come a long way. I'm not saying Mayor Pete, listen, here's what I want. If this happens, I want to see ferocity. I want to see someone like, this is unacceptable. Right. This is never going to happen again. This cannot happen again. I'm going to get to the bottom of this, and I'm going to stay here and take every single question.
Yep.
But Pete, and this is why he looks so good. He looks like he's 12 because this guy's never stressed. He's like, you know what? We'll fix it. We got this. No, I don't want that. And I'm not saying it's his fault.
Good.
I'm not saying he downloaded some virus from this computer and it wrecked the whole system, although I'm not ruling that out. But he sets the tone for the FAA, and the tone is woke. Because they're not spending money on these computers. These computers are 40 years old. They're changing the word airmen.
Yep.
Because a transvestite pilot might get offended. Like she's not going to take off, or he's not going to take off because she's called an airman.
Jesse.
They.
It's impossible.
Yep.
And it's transsexual.
Whoever.
Did you say transvestite?
He did. He said transvestite.
There's a word you don't hear from.
It's
very
all right.
often.
We'll talk about it during the commercial break.
Yes.
2023.
Oh, wait a second. Okay, well, let's get into this.
No,
then. What is the difference?
Don't do it.
It's officially in my ear. Don't do it. We'll talk about it in the break.
Oh, they tell you what to say? Okay.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.